might enter into marriage with a contract mentality like this, well, I'll be patient with you if you're patient with me. Or I'll be kind to you if you're kind to me. Or even like this big one, I'll be faithful to you if you're faithful to me. But the contract mentality would say, but if you're not, then I don't have to be. If you're not kind, I don't have to be kind. If you're not patient, I don't have to be patient. If you're not faithful, then I don't have to be faithful. Again, that's painful, right? I can't imagine the amount of pain that would bring to a relationship because you didn't do what you said you were going to do. Therefore, I don't have to do what I said I was going to do. So that's not how Catholics look at marriage. How we look at marriage is with a covenant mentality. In fact, you might have heard this word covenant in the Middle East. People there, they would enter into covenants with each other where it wouldn't just be two people now are united under a contract or two tribes united under some kind of agreement. It was now, these two people are now one. It's these two tribes are now one tribe. These two families are now one family. You'd enter a covenant, which basically says this. I mean, it actually goes back to the Lord himself, where God says, I'll be your God, you will be my people. Every covenant at the heart of it is not an exchange of goods or services, not I'll do this for you if you do this for me. Every covenant, at the heart of a covenant, is an exchange of persons with no condition. Right? So a contract is an agreement for an exchange of goods or services based off a condition. A covenant is an exchange of persons with no condition. It's when one looks at the other and says, I'm yours now and you're mine. For God, again, as we said, God says, I am your God. You are my people. That's the arrangement. Now, we belong to each other. And the remarkable thing to highlight is the fact that there's no condition there, right? There's only I'm yours and you're mine. So you can't void a covenant. I can void a contract. Just don't do what I said I was going to do. But I can't void a covenant. And this is the distinction. This is one of the reasons why in the New Testament, Jesus makes it very, very clear that marriage is a covenant. A person cannot divorce their spouse and marry another. They're still married. They'd be committing adultery, Jesus says, because you can't void a covenant. And if that marriage was a covenant, then it still exists even if you're living in two different places. Even if you attempt to marry someone else, you're already married, which is one of those really heavy things, right? It's one of those, again, the contract mentality is hard to live with because you realize at any given moment, right, that person could void the contract. I could void the contract. A covenant mentality is difficult to live with because you know that if that person leaves me, I will spend the rest of my life as a married person with their spouse who lives somewhere else.